Well, if you first don't succeed, train back. That's what I always say. Look, today I was on a on an evening shift today, so I started at 1 in the afternoon. I finished at 9:30. Didn't really get out of work until probably about 10 o'clock though. I had a few things I had to stay back and help with, which is okay. Look, I don't mind that. Got to the gym anyway. It's nice and late. Um, there's not too many people around. It's a Saturday night. But yeah, look, you can see me here doing, sort of starting with my warm up. My plan was initially to come in and do some squats and just really work through my hips, my glutes, and get some good leg strength there, and then maybe do a little bit of back towards the end. However, as you'll probably see later in the clip, it didn't go to plan. So look, this is me doing some glute raises, just working the back. Obviously, trying to open up my hips there, and then just a little bit of rotator cuff warm ups. Always like to warm up the rotator cuff. So it's something that a lot of people tear quite easily doing lots of different movements. Basically anything involved with the shoulder. There's a possibility of tearing a rotator cuff. So I always like to warm them up at the start. So yeah, that's why I'm doing this movement, and that's why I'm doing the knee raises to start off with. But you'll see by the end of the video I keep doing some more of those raises because the squatting, it doesn't go so well for me. So I only filmed a little bit of my warm up, but I warmed up for a good 20 minutes before attempting any squats. I did all my stretching. I went through my usual stretching protocol. I even added some walking lunges in, and I really took my time to try and warm up. But for some reason, my left groin was just super tight. And I mean, I got down in some of these videos and I'm feeling it. I'm like, oh yeah, it's a little bit tight, but I can sort of work into it. And sometimes, look, when my hips feel a little bit tight and I'm doing squats, I can work into that and they'll sort of come with me after a little bit. But my groin, man, I just couldn't get it to fire, couldn't get it to loosen up and go. Now, I don't know if this is because I went to work and sort of got stiff and tight through work and then came to the gym and probably maybe needed more time warming up to be able to perform the squat. But I just couldn't get it going. Normally I squat before work or on my days off. Usually I'm pretty loose. Usually probably a couple hours after I wake up in the morning, so I feel quite fresh. Today this was the first time sort of attempting it after work. Man, yeah, I must have gotten tired or something like that. I must have needed more time warming up. So I just couldn't complete the movement. I tried I sort of try 10 kilos either side, and it sort of moves all right, but not great. And then I'll go 20 kilos either side, and moves all right, but not great. But I just did not want to risk it today. I can come back to it when I'm on a day off work, or I can come back and I can do it a day where I'm able to train before work. Because as you see, I've just, like, the look on my face, I just sort of shook my head. After a couple of attempts, I just went, nah, this is not worth it. So I went and I trained back. Now, back is something that I think is underestimated by a lot of people. I think a lot of people just train it to look good. Big back, big shoulders, that's what the girls like, kind of thing. But look, I think it's underrated because one, your spine is everything. Your spine is what connects your brain to your body, and the support structure around it determines the level of mobility and function within that spine, and determines how healthy to a certain extent, will determine how healthy your spine can be. So I like to do a lot of back days. I like to do a lot of back exercises. It's my regular once a week. I'll do some sort of back exercise and back day. And that's not to say that I won't mix it in with some other movements. Like you see me doing these glute raises a lot. This is something that I'm new to, that I've quite liked. I like and I enjoy doing these movements because one, it works my upper back like nothing I've ever felt. Really, I'm really able to sort of push through my scapulars and I feel a really good burn in the smaller muscle groups around there, and it also warms my shoulders up as well. So this is probably a variation for me. I did some overhand pull downs, which I only showed one set for. It was a little bit hard filming as well, even though it's by the time I start doing these workouts, it's 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. It's almost midnight, and there's people still in the gym. And sometimes when you go to the gym, if you're a bloke, you'll know this, right? It's like this. If you're a bloke and you go to the toilet and you use a urinal, and all the other urinals are free, and then there's that one dude that comes up and uses a urinal right next to you. It was like that in the gym last night, man. It's as soon as I sat down on a piece of equipment, I started using a certain movement, someone would come up and stand right next to me and do workouts there. And I don't want to be that person that's filming other people in the gym and putting it up without their consent. So I just stopped filming. But yeah, it was weird like that. There's only about 5 other people in this gym, but for some reason, man, it just people just kept following me around and kept getting close. So I didn't like it. I didn't want to be rude, so I just sort of tried to put my GoPro in a corner and sort of film myself like I did. I sort of covered up with my bag and stuff like that. So yeah, I did some overhand pull downs. I did some sort of closed grip rows, but at an angle. So I'm sort of pulling down instead of pulling horizontally, which is just works the middle of your back a little bit more. Then I did some dips here. So I'll use that's a 10 kilo weight I'm using. And this just sort of does my lower back, and tops of my hamstrings as well. Lower back of my hamstrings to a T. I'll sort of do a set of 10 bodyweight warm up, and then I'll do 3 sets of 10 to 12 with a 10 kilo weight, and then I'll do 1 set of 10 on each leg with one leg lifted, which just adds to sort of working one side more than the other. You really have to work with that one side to stabilize yourself. It's quite hard to do. So I usually just do 1 set of that at the very end. Or, if I can't find weights around in the gym normally, I'll just do body weights and I'll do variations of those. Those are just as good as using a 10 kilo weight, something like that. But I kept it pretty simple today. I just did the 4 back exercises, so the overhand pull downs, the dips, the rows, and then the loo raises. That's sort of all I did after. I spent quite a lot of time warming up and trying to prepare myself for a squat. That didn't happen, so I just did a quick back warm up, and I did a quick back workout. And look, I think these are probably 4 exercises you could do anytime you did a back workout, and you will get a well-rounded back. You're working your smaller muscle groups, but you're also adding enough movements in there to do your larger muscle groups as well on your back. And that's something probably I'm definitely strong in. Like again, I said, I used to play a lot of cricket, so I used to have a really good, strong back from bowling. So when I first started working out at the gym, I found that my strongest asset was my back, just because lots of repetition in cricket. I found I had a really strong back, and it's something I've continued on with. But yeah, like I said, look, I work in an industry where people get a lot of back problems, and quite early as well. You see people in their mid to late 30s who are seriously suffering from some real problems. They've all got stories about, oh yeah, I've done a disc, or I've got a kink in my back, or I've got some sort of degeneration or something. So yeah, look, I firmly believe in having a strong core back routine to really maximize my health and make sure that my spine is well supported, and that, look, if there's any sort of stress or anything that can impact my back in any way, I want to know that the support system for the spine is there and the musculature is there, and that will carry me into my later years, hopefully. I don't just want to have this for when I'm in my 20s, like I've said for a few things. I want to have this for later in life. I want to be able to enjoy it later in life and have this strong foundation carry me through. So yeah, like you said here, I finished off with some loo raises. Again, I sort of cut this short because 2 minutes after I want to do this, man, 2 minutes after I want to do this, some dudes walk straight behind me. Like, I can't blame them, man. It's a public gym. I'm not going to be that dude who's like, hey, get out of my shot. I want to be quite respectful and not film people. But yeah, look, I think I'd take this as a lesson to acknowledge setbacks, but you don't have to accept them as well. You can have a setback and not be able to train something you want to train, but that doesn't mean you go home and you stop training. You can find something else and train that, and make sure that you still have something positive to take from your experience and your gym experience. So yeah, look, I'm happy with where I was at today. I was going to be back today or tomorrow anyway, so I got it in, and I'll probably try and do some squats on the day off when I can add to my mobility. But look, that's all from me. So cheers, and see you in the next one, eh?